right, so I have my metallic paints out. A couple of them I've already done this. I'm going to add just a touch of water to the ones that I'm using. I'm using this green here, this one here, and then the red and the white. So by putting the water in there, it's just going to, let's do it this way. It's just going to hydrate that paint to be able to use a lot quicker. Somehow I scratched myself between the last video and now. Not really sure what I did. All right, so I'm going to pick up a little bit of the red, and I'm not really picking it up where the water is. I'm picking it up on the side, moving the water up, and then I'm going to quickly paint the entire flower. And I just realized I don't have that orange one hydrated, and I'm going to need that for the next color. That's okay. I'm going to change the colors here. They hydrate quite quickly anyways, so just for something a little bit different, I'm going to add some orange to the outside of this flower here. Otherwise it looks a little bit flat. And because we have such a dark background, if we don't add a different color, there's not really a way to get lights and darks in here because the background is so dark. So this is how we're doing it. All right. I don't need it for the entire thing. I'm just putting it on the outer petals. Squeeze my brush out. And then let's go get some of the white. Started in the center because that's where I wanted the darkest or the brightest of the white to be, and I don't mind if I get a little bit more translucent towards the edges and see some of the background between it or behind it. It's a great thing about watercolors. You have the control to do this, and you can change your mind in the middle of it and decide to add a little bit more color. I'm going to add a little bit of the red in the center of that flower to give it a little bit more interest, as well as it'll tie in with the red on this one here. Let's do the bud up here. If you're not getting enough of the metallic, just grab a little bit more. And then same with the orange. Oh, another bud right there. All right, now the last step is the leaves. And you can tell with this one, the watercoloring is going a lot quicker. A, because it's embossed, and B, because there's not a whole lot of detail that's needed because the metallic paints themselves just kind of give it a bit of a wow factor. Like I'm taking some of this dark green and putting it in, but you don't even see a huge difference between the dark and the light. Oh, there's another leaf behind there. And these teeny tiny leaves, I'm not even going to go in with the dark color because you're actually not going to see that. There's not a big enough space to have that in there. This one as well, I didn't bother painting the background because I wanted to only have the image section be the focus. A little bit of the dark color in there. And then just because there's a little bit of space in those stems there, I'm just going to add a touch to the stems. Paint them in. And there we go. So now I just have to wait for that to completely dry, and then once it's dry we can assemble the card. And I think what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to trim a little bit off of here so that it's not going to be the same size as this one here, but it's going to be an even size around so that I have an even mat.